4, 5, 6. Yeah,
There you go.
now.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I hang around 4th or 5th. Wait for someone to do something stupid.
They're taking him into the wall.
I love it. I love the competition.
How to make it happen, that's it.
I'm usually more of a patient dude, but given what's at stake here, gotta be a little bit more aggressive.
He's on it over here.
I'm a NASCAR fan, diehard fan.
I've been playing NASCAR games for over 10 years. It's a dream come true. It's just awesome.
There we go.
I've never really done anything like this.
And we have a pile-up.
I'm just a NASCAR fanatic, man. I love racing.
Be consistent, drive hard, do what it takes to get in victory lane.
Pedal to the metal, man. Let's go all out, all or nothing.
And welcome to Homestead-Miami Speedway, a beautiful day for racing, both on the traditional oval and on the virtual oval. And I'd like to welcome you in. I'm Scott Cole. I'll be your host today, and we'll be taking you all through the action. What has been send a big welcome out to those that are watching us on NASCAR.com, also on Motorsport.com, and those fine folks over on Twitch. That's my people. The 704 NASCAR Heat Channel, Esports, Arena Vegas, and ELC Gaming TV. I'd like to welcome you in. We get all the racing starting about 10:30, so not too far from now. That's where we'll put up that $10,000 prize. And over the last 10 weeks, we have really been rocking and rolling through a lot of these arenas. And I tell you what, we took 3 people from Miami. So here's your schedule for today, 10:30 a.m. That's when we'll get rocking and rolling with the big stream on NASCAR.com and wherever you're watching right now. And then at 10:40, we'll start the qualifying here in Miami. And then the final, we'll line them up, we'll put them on the grid. And at 11 a.m., I'll be joined by some familiar voices throughout the NASCAR scene with Alex Hayden and Dave Moody will be joining us, along with Nikki Shields. Before we get to that, look who I'm joined with right now. We joined by NASCAR driver Regan Smith, and I know you got a big day today, but I appreciate you taking out some time for our fine folks at home.
Well, big day today, but we're handing out the first championship today.
That's
here
right.
in a little while out here. So excited to see what these guys are going to get ready to do out here racing on the NASCAR Heat game, and a cool setup. And I know you mentioned the $10,000, but somebody with an opportunity to win $500,000 when this is all
right?
done too.
I just overshadowed that. Yeah, obviously, if someone comes away with $500,000 today, that's going to be pretty awesome.
They're buying dinner tonight. If they
Yeah,
do that.
absolutely. Yeah, we're going to put them on that. We've had some wild weather this weekend. We normally are down here and we're facing 90-degree weather, a sticky track. What are you seeing throughout the weekend?
Well, we've been fortunate. You know, Friday was the coolest day I ever remember at this racetrack. We came in and there wasn't humidity. We had heavy cloud cover. So it really made the racetrack a lot quicker than what sometimes it would be. And it gave you more of basically an opportunity to feel what the cars were going to be like in qualifying when it got dark and the track cooled off. So we saw some faster times than typical. It gave guys an opportunity to go out and really know what they were going to have before they had to do it. Sometimes we go out and we're guessing a little bit in qualifying as to how much grip the track is going to have, but we had a pretty good idea. So with that said, we roll into Saturday. It stayed a little bit cool. We still had that cloud cover all day, and as we look out here right now, it's got some clouds. I would anticipate by the time the race rolls around, some of these clouds are going to burn off. We're going to have sun. We're going to have clouds, and this is a temperamental racetrack. If we do get that sun, and we haven't run in the sun at all weekend, basically, it's going to change the way that these race cars handle and what we expect out of them. So it could present some challenges for everybody. We're going to be up on the wall. That's going to happen at some point or another. And when you run the wall, I know we saw it in the Xfinity race last night quite a bit from Tyler Reddick in particular. When you run the wall, you run the risk of hitting the wall. The difference is in an Xfinity car, because of the bodies having the fiberglass kit bodies, you can hit it, and it's not going to put a fender on the tire. With a Cup car, if you hit the wall, you will get a flat tire within probably 2 or 3 laps of that happening because it pushes the body onto the tire and it changes it. So possibility for more cautions than what we've seen. But you know what? There's 4 guys out there that are racing for a championship. It's going to be an exciting night. There's going to be a lot of energy around it. And of all the years that I've been coming down here and we've used this format or any of the playoff style formats, I don't remember a year that was tougher to handicap who was going to win it than this year. With everything that went around the teams coming into the race. You would think Kyle Busch, he's got the advantage. Well, you know what? They've struggled through the playoffs just a little bit, and in particular on the mile and a half. So then you'd say Kevin Harvick, he's got to be the guy. They get the penalty at Texas a couple weeks ago. We don't know how that's going to affect his car and race trim to this point yet. It's got to slow you down just a little bit, I would assume, but who knows? Maybe Martin Truex Jr. Well, their playoffs haven't been exactly the greatest, and that's a race team that's shutting down. Joey Logano, here's a guy that came out of nowhere seemingly, and now he looks like he could be one of the favorites. There's no way to predict who's going to win this thing, and that's what's going to make it fun.
Coach, we're just right across the street from the raceway here at the Homestead-Miami, and the cool thing about the end of the season, you get an opportunity to look back at 2018. How was that for you? I mean, take us through the ups and downs of that 2018 season.
For me, 2018, when we came into the season, I basically said, okay, I'd made the commitment to going to work for Fox and doing TV, and I was so excited about that. And I have had so much fun doing that. And we got to the 16th, 17th race of the year, wherever our cutoff is at Sonoma, and I said, okay, what now? What am I going to do for the rest of the year? I was scheduled to be in the studio, and I was going to be on our Sunday race day show, which is coming up in a little while.
That's right.
In between watching this, I know everybody's going to tune into FS1 and watch race day as well. But ultimately, I said, what am I going to do? It's just Sunday, and I'm in the studio once a week. Other than that, what's going to happen next? And I was literally on the golf course, and it was I think it was the Thursday before Indy, and I got a phone call from Bob Levine, and I thought, or Bob Levine, excuse me, and I thought, why is he calling me right now? I had no recollection as to why he would be calling me, so I didn't answer it. I didn't have my phone on me. I saw it on my watch, and I walked back to the golf cart a few minutes later and called him back, and he said, hey, do you want to come run Indy? And I thought, whoa, what's going on? And naturally, it was when Casey had his health scare and some of the issues he was going through. I didn't anticipate it turning into the full rest of the season, but it's been really awesome to get back out in the race car, to go experience it again. And when you make a commitment to do TV, you don't know how much you're going to drive beyond that. And I had a great opportunity with Fox that I didn't want to pass up. And now, as it turns out, I got the best of both worlds this year. I've been on the TV, I've been driving, I've been doing a little bit of everything, and it's been honestly probably the most fun year of my career, even though I wasn't on the track full time.
Well, you did a great job on both sides of it, and you get to experience a lot. And I know Dell Jr. is getting a little bit of a taste of it himself.
We text a lot about that. It's been fun. We're good friends, and when we both kind of hopped into the TV world at the same time, it was funny. It literally within a couple days of his announcement and my announcement, they were both at the same time. We got some good chuckles out of that.
Well, we got some fans behind us. We got some swag to give away, and hopefully Regan Smith will sign a few things. Appreciate you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us today. We got a lot more coming up today. Of course, the race at 10:30 a.m. So we'll get you over there, Reagan. Get you an opportunity.
What about these guys today in these cars? What do you think? What's the best advice for them? I'm going to tell them to run the wall. I think that's where they got to be.
They're going to be on the bottom of the track. But we'll get you over here. We'll get you signing a few things. We got some games for you to give away. So we'll get Regan Smith to go over there. Go ahead and head on over there. And let's look at the schedule. Obviously at 10:30. Good crowd out here today already at 10:30. That's when the live stream will get started on NASCAR.com or wherever you're watching right now in the world of Twitch and Motorsport.com. And we'll be doing our qualifying at 10:40 a.m. 11 a.m. is the road to the Miami Finals. That's the big show. And then, of course, we're going to be giving away that $10,000 with an opportunity to win $500,000 today. And, of course, Alex Hayden and Dave Moody will be joining me just a few moments from now. You guys stick around, sit tight. We got some racing coming up just around the corner.
Have fun, Regan. Oh, hey. Check, check, check.
Oh, I need you to put your headset on.
How far out are we? Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm Alex Hayden from MRN Radio. This is Dave Moody.
Hi, hi.
You guys
What's up,
doing all right?
everybody?
First time at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Anybody? Welcome. First time ever at a NASCAR race.
Wow,
Where you been?
that's
Where you
it.
been? Well, welcome.
That's
I like your
awesome.
shirt, though.
Good deal.
Cobra. I like it. Hi, Drew.
Just trying to figure out which one's which.
You can talk louder because it's on the PA.
What? I'm not accustomed to public speaking.
Am I supposed to keep my thumb up? He didn't tell me to
Keep
put
your
it down.
thumb up.
9 drivers have qualified for the NASCAR Heat Champions Road to Miami Finals at Homestead-Miami Speedway. These elite drivers will compete for $10,000 this Sunday during the Ford Championship weekend. The winner of the Road to Miami Finals will also have a shot at $500,000. Fans can tune in to the epic conclusion of NASCAR Heat Champions Road to Miami this Sunday on NASCAR.com and NASCAR Heat's Twitch channel and Motorsport.com.
Congrats to Week 1 winner Nicholas Froman from Catonsville, Maryland.
HD Motorsports here, Nicholas Froman, 24 years old from Baltimore, Maryland. Why I love NASCAR so much is just the pure side-by-side racing that goes on throughout the race. And that's the same reason why I love NASCAR Heat 3. Why do I think I'm going to win this tournament? It's because if you're not first, you're last. Also, pure talent. I can't wait to see you guys in Miami. It's been fun. Peace.
Congrats to Week 2 winner Brandon Gritton from Fayetteville, Georgia.
Hi y'all, my name is Brandon. I am 23. I am from Georgia. I grew up racing as a child up to my late teens on dirt tracks. I thrive on competition, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity. I think it's going to bring console racing to the next step, and I can't wait to make it happen.
Congrats to Week 3 winner Nick Walker from Anderson, Indiana.
Hey guys, Nick Walker here, better known as Wow That's Garbage on Xbox One and YouTube. 26 years old. Pretty much anything with an engine and wheels I'm into. I just wanted to thank you guys for the opportunity. Definitely can't wait to come down and meet everybody and have a good time. So, see what happens.
Congrats to Week 4 winner Sean Abbott from Marion, Illinois.
Hey guys, my name is Sean Abbott, better known as Slider 43. I'm 36 years old from Southern Illinois. I'm a NASCAR fan because of the competition, the speed, and the emotions we go through during a race. That's what I like about NASCAR Heat 3 is because it puts me in the driver's seat. Why do I think I can win this tournament? Because I've raced the best and I can beat the best.
Congrats to Week 5 winner John Minatello from Royal Palm Beach, Florida.
What's up guys, my name is John Minatello. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida, 43 years old, aka Pro Boss. I won the Talladega Champions competition this week and we're going to Homestead. 704, knocking it out of the park. Can't thank you enough. That's going to be a great weekend. Hope to see everyone there.
Congrats to Week 6 winner Hunter Mullins from Henry, Virginia.
Next Racing 11 here, 21 years old from Henry County, Virginia. The reason I think I can win the event, once I get out front, I turn into FedEx Express, and it's a wrap. The best part about racing is the last lap. The bumping, the action, beating, banging is so awesome. Can't wait to do that at Homestead. See you guys there. Peace. Number 1, go Denny Hamlin. Peace.
Congrats to Week 7 winner Louis Zader from Miami, Florida.
Louis Zader here, 15 years old from Miami, Florida, also known as CGM X Rose. I personally enjoy NASCAR Heat 3 because it's a great, fun representation of NASCAR that I personally enjoy. I think that I'm going to win this tournament because the man won the battles, but they ain't winning the damn war.
Congrats to Week 8 winner Josh Harbin of Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
My name is Josh Harbin. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm 29 years old. The reason I'm a NASCAR fan is because it's been a family tradition of ours since before I was born. Why do I think that I can win this tournament? Simple. Because I'm the bear.
Congrats to Week 9 winner Jeremy Smith from Hanahan, South Carolina. We'll catch him in Miami.
Just outside the shadows of the Homestead-Miami Speedway, on-site qualifying for the NASCAR Heat Champion Finals. Over the course of the weekend, drivers from different series are making appearances on stage and playing NASCAR Heat 3 alongside the hopeful qualifiers.
All right, tip number one, which sounds really, really simple, but also is really, really important, don't hit the wall. The closer you run to the wall, the faster the cars go. There's some tough competition here behind me.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous that a couple of them might actually be my fans because I'm probably gonna make a few of them mad.
The top 3 track times here this weekend will join 9 online qualifiers in Sunday's final for the chance to take home $10,000.
It's great. It's a great way for all the fans to get to run on all the racetracks that we go to every single week, and it's a lot of fun to play.
Sunday's final will be live streamed on NASCAR.com. We had an incredible Saturday out at Homestead-Miami for day 2 of the NASCAR Heat Championship.
This place is such a unique shape. How you get into the corner and how you come off the corner is very symmetrical. You got to run right on the wall. That's nerve-wracking, man. Like,
we also had some NASCAR guys stop by.
Yeah, I heard Brad Keselowski say the same thing. You can make a lot of speed running right up against the wall, but you got to manage that risk.
They're taking them into the wall.
Because then if you get in the wall, then you can cut a tire down, you can wreck your race car, ruin your day. So.
And here he comes to the checkered flag.
These guys are awesome. It's fun to race with them.
We saw some fast racers from the local area. 78 trying to get by. 10 gets in the car. 78's in the lead. 18 to the inside. Can the number 18 get there? It's a hustle. Back to the checkered flag. So the scene is set for Sunday, the final 10:30, live on NASCAR.com.
Yeah, it's obviously a huge advantage when you're playing at home. Unless, of course, you don't have Xfinity. Right, Kevin?
Hey, man, I'm lagging. Are you streaming again?
You know I watch my shows on Thursdays.
Take your game to the next level with Xfinity X5.
Just outside the Homestead-Miami Speedway on the stage of the NASCAR Heat Champions eSport Truck, 12 finalists are preparing to claim that $10,000 first place prize and a chance to win $500,000 more. There's more than just one big race in Miami this Sunday. The NASCAR Heat Champions Road to Miami. The final starts now.
I hang around 4th or 5th. Wait for someone to do something stupid.
They're taking them into the wall.
I love it. I love the competition.
How to make it happen, that's it.
I'm usually more of a patient dude, but given what's at stake here, got to be a little bit more aggressive.
She's on it over here.
I'm a NASCAR fan, diehard fan.
I've been playing NASCAR games for over 10 years. It's a dream come true. It's just awesome.
There we go. I've never really done anything like this.
And we have a pile up.
I'm just a NASCAR fanatic, man. I love racing.
Be consistent, drive hard, do what it takes to get in victory lane.
Pedal to the metal, man. Just go all out, all or nothing.
And a happy Sunday to you, live from Homestead-Miami Speedway. We are moments away from the big race of the day as far as it goes to NASCAR Heat Champions. Our drivers are settling in, getting ready. 12 finalists in total from all around the country, looking to have an opportunity to walk away with 10 grand today and maybe an opportunity at $500,000. That's on the table. The table's been set. Now it's time for these guys to climb in, settle in, and get ready to rock and roll. Along with the voices of NASCAR, you got Dave Moody, Alex Hayden, I'm Scott Cole, and gentlemen, it is a big day, not only virtually, but all across the NASCAR scene.
It really is. These guys are here racing for their own championship. The stars of NASCAR are here racing for their own championship. And it's kind of cool that they're going to do it on the exact same racetrack with the exact same options to run top to bottom. Alex, all over this racetrack.
Well, absolutely. There's so many different lanes you can race here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. From the bottom of the track, the middle, or what we call lane 4, all the way up against the safer barrier to drivers right. It's going to be fun. It's going to be spectacular. And let's face it, is there a better setting to have a championship race than right here in South Florida?
Oh, it's been fantastic. Most of us back home are in the 30s and 40 degrees. Some of us well up north with some snow. This is what we're doing today. We're going to rock and roll with 12 of our drivers. They're going to be doing a little bit of qualifying here. They're going to have 20 laps to try to set the fastest time. That's how we're going to set the grid, set that pole position. And in the finals, we'll have 40 laps, no pitting. It's like a sprint race. It's just pedal to the metal, and the winner will take home 10 grand I tell you what, guys, this esports world that we're in is exploding. A lot of us traditionally spend a lot of time just going out to the track, maybe getting behind the real thing. But when you talk about these guys in their teens, their 20s and 30s, they're more looking forward to getting behind this wheel than maybe the wheel out there on the big oval.
It's really interesting to see because, you know, there are guys racing on short tracks all over the country that aren't racing for the kind of money that these guys are going to race for here today. This is a big deal, and you can see there's some nerves going on out here. These guys know exactly what's on the line. They know what they can win, and they know what they can lose.
And part of esports, too, in the boom of it, is guys like William Byron, who's our Rookie of the Year in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series here in 2018. He's an esports guy. He started off racing esports, so there's an opportunity out there. Yeah, everybody wants that big check, and everybody wants to be able to celebrate here in Homestead as the champion of today. But there's so many opportunities, and it just defines how big esports really is.
I think I said 20 laps earlier. It's 10 laps in the qualifiers. So they qualified from all over the country. I mean, we started off from Las Vegas, Richmond, Charlotte, Dover, Talladega, Kansas, and of course HD, one of the favorites, Smoke Fan, Garbage, Slider, Boss, FedEx. Those are names you might not know yet, but these are names that you're gonna know. And of course, Rose qualified out in Martinsville. The Bear from Texas, he's one of our favorite. Dirty Worm Germ, one of the favorite names out there in Phoenix. Of course, we had 3 qualify right here in Homestead over the last 2 days. Deadman Rising and Gearhead. And let's go to the 4th member of our broadcast team. Let's bring in Nikki Shields.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, very exciting. I'm joined by one of our competitors, The Bear. I mean, what a great name. Tell us how you qualified to be here today.
Teamwork at Texas, really. I mean, just hold it in the floorboard, hold it wide open. That's all you can do.
Now, you play quite a lot of online gaming, and you mentioned to me earlier that you've actually been reunited with some of your teammates here today.
Yeah, Team Venom Racing is on deck today in PS4, I'm sorry, and yeah, we're here, we're representing, we're ready to roll.
But you've actually never met them face to face. So, because obviously it's all online, so you've actually, for the first time, you've met them today.
Yeah, for the first time ever. We all saw each other for the first time on Friday. It was surreal, really. It was really fun. You know, you put a face with a voice, you know. It was cool.
So you're basically going up against some of your team members today. Give us a sort of, you know, what do you rate your chances?
I mean, you know, we'll see. You know, it's racing. Anything goes at any time, so we'll see.
Playing it very cool, very cool. Well, thank you very much, The Bear, for you guys.
I appreciate it, Nikki. And that's one of the battles that we're going to be talking about is the PlayStation 4 versus the Xbox. The Bear, the big favorite, coming off the PlayStation 4. And then the Xbox is HD Motorsports. And we alluded to it earlier, attacking Homestead. You know, we had Brad Keselowski over here on Friday, and he said, you want to run in that wall. But when you're talking about a 40-lap race, maybe you want to be a little bit to the lower, faster around the track.
It's risk versus reward. The fastest way around is about 1.5 inches off that outside retaining wall. If you end this race with a little bit of that seafoam green paint on the right rear quarter panel of your car, you're probably going to be fast. But that high line is the fast way, but it's also the risky way, and about a 3-inch mistake can ruin your day.
And here's the other part of that, too, because if somebody in front of you is already taking your line, you got to go where they ain't, as they say. So take the car down to the middle of the racetrack, perhaps even diamond the corner. Go into turn 1 or turn 3 a little bit low, let the car drift up, and then dive down to the bottom to get that run down a straightaway. You can almost use this banking, and it's 20 degrees from that extreme outside lane. Use the banking as a bit of a ramp to help you accelerate and get down these straightaways. There's different ways to attack this 1.5 mile racetrack, and quite frankly, that's why this track is so special, because there's so many different ways to do it.
All right, let's take a look at the drivers. A little deeper dive into our 12 finalists that are here. Let's start off with HD Motorsports. Mentioned he's the favorite on Xbox coming down from Baltimore, Maryland. You got Smoke Fan from Fayetteville, Georgia, and Garbage out of Franklin to Indiana. And when you talk about HD1 and being the favorite, is that always a good thing, guys?
Brings a little pressure. No, I don't think being the favorite is good or bad, other than the fact that it may bring you a little bit of pressure right now. But anybody that's made it to this level has got skill. It's just like we're going to see later tonight when we run the Ford EcoBoost 400. The 4 guys that are still standing at this point, they deserve to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun to watch. They're all the best in the country at racing NASCAR Heat 3. I'm ready to get this going.
Well, here's the next 3. Slider, a.k.a. Pro Boss, who's from nearby West Palm Beach. He's got some fans in the audience. And then FedEx from Henry, Virginia. And he calls himself FedEx because when he gets out front, he said it's Federal Express. You can pretty much take it all the way. And there's Slider. This is a guy that's overcome a lot to get here, and he is really fast, and he's got an opportunity. If he's in the middle of the pack, he can make a move.
These guys are all fast, and the middle of the pack is not going to be a place to be for very long because these guys, they got their teeth sharpened and their fangs out. They're not going to get to ride around in the middle.
There's $10,000 on the line today. That's the prize that everybody's racing for. I would not want to be the leader coming off turn 2 on the last lap if somebody's on my bumper, because there's a pretty good chance you're not going to get back to the start-finish line.
CGM Rose, although he didn't qualify in Miami, he's from Miami. You met the Bear earlier from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, a big Roll Tide fan. And then one of the fun names, Dirty Worm Germ from Hanahan, South Carolina. These guys are going to be around the big guy. I mean, the Bear, everyone on our 12 drivers said he's pretty much the overall favorite. He's the guy we're going to be looking out for today.
I don't get it. Why do they call him the Bear?
Hard to figure that one out.
Yeah, he's a big guy. And there's Dirty Worm Germ, a guy that's super confident coming into this one. And hey, I'm from South Carolina. He's from South Carolina. Maybe that's the guy I'm rooting for, even though he won out in Phoenix. So put all that together, and he's going to have the opportunity to make a name for himself. And here's the back of the pack. These are the guys that all qualified here on Homestead. Maybe not easy to do. You got to show up. They had to fight through a lot of traffic to get to set some fast times. Deadman Rising, Gearhead, and Kyle Crane, all folks that came here to the track. And Nikki Shields is actually standing by with Kyle Crane.
I am indeed. Yeah, Carl, you are one of our late entries, just qualifying yesterday. What does it mean to be competing in such an event?
It's pretty cool. It's fast group of guys, so we'll see what happens.
It is indeed. The competition is pretty intense. What would it mean to win $10,000?
That'd be amazing. That's a pretty cool deal that esports has put on a NASCAR Heat. Pretty special.
It's a good prize. Now, you've also got a few supporters here in the crowd. Your wife and also your son, Nolan, is down there. Give us a wave, Nolan. Yes, there he is down there. What does it mean to have them here today?
It's pretty cool. He's actually the one that talked me into coming up here. I wasn't even going to do it. I don't race online normally. I own the game, but I don't play online. So he said, Dad, let's go do it. So I said, all right, and it made it in.
There we go. Your son clearly knows what's going on. Carl, good luck for the race, and hopefully we'll catch up with you afterwards. And good luck, Nolan. Keep on cheering. Back to you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. Usually it's the dad's trying to get the sons to race, and here it's, and he doesn't even play online. I said, "What's your gamer tag, Kyle?" He's like, "I don't play online.
Yeah,
I just showed
Kyle.
up and did it." Yeah, he's like, "I'm just Kyle." So we got 10 laps for these guys to qualify. I think on the first lap we're going to see a lot of them dive into the pits, set their car up to be the fastest possible time, not trying to get the endurance just for trying to get the speed here in the qualify.
Right. It's a pretty short qualifying session. You'll have time maybe to adjust once, maybe twice, but you better have a pretty good idea where you're headed on this deal to try and get yourself dialed in.
It's important. You want to start first. You want that track position. You want to be the guy that's got the bullseye on your back when the green flag flies for the main event coming up here in just a short while, because once you have that track position, you get to dictate which line on the track you want to run. Just like we talked about a moment ago, you get to pick which lane you want, and that's huge.
Yeah, clean air, clean racing. When you're up front, and we talked about only 40 laps. I mean, if we're talking about a couple stages, 400 times, I mean, these guys will run about 267 around here tonight. So 40 laps, I mean, it is no pitting, pedal to the metal. If you're out front and you get pole, you're probably the favorite at that point.
You don't want to have to pass 11 guys to win this thing. That's going to be a tall order and a tough row to hoe. If you're starting in the first 3 rows, you've got a pretty good chance of getting yourself to the front. If you're starting in the back couple of rows, well, you're going to have a long day, and you're going to have to work awfully hard.
Yeah, it's going to make things that much more difficult. And by the way, the other added bonus for anybody out there, if they're using me as their spotter in their ear, they've got that much more of an advantage out there.
Well, you are in the game, and we are in the game. Here is the qualifying session before the big 40-lap race for the 10 grand. Our drivers get their hands on the wheel or a controller, whichever they chose. And let's start off with HD Motorsports. He's in that number 22, normally driven by Joey Logano, and he's one of our favorites coming from the Xbox scene.
He is, and let's point out that these drivers today did not get to pick which car they're in. They were assigned to them. So some of them, when they play at home or wherever they're playing these games, may have that particular sentimental favorite as far as which car they want to drive, but you don't necessarily get that luxury.
And we're already seeing the versatility of this racetrack. Passing high, passing low. I don't think he necessarily had a plan on going to pit road right there, but everybody else did, and he was on the inside of them.
Yeah, they're already setting up the adjustments we want to make. Get that wedge, tape up the cars as much as you can, set that tire pressure so you can run a fast lap. It's all about qualifying.
You get 10 laps, so you got to get the car set to your comfort level. It's all about getting the pole position here in these 10 laps. So come on in, get the adjustments made, get the car set up to your particular driving style, get back out on the racetrack, and then give it all you got.
AC Garbage setting up his number 78 Pass Pro Shop 5-hour energy. Making these adjustments, and Scott Cole along with Alex Hayden, Dave Moody from the Motor Radio Network. Of course, Nikki Shields, she's going to be down there, quote unquote, in the pits as we head into the second lap of qualifying here, and it's all about holding the line. So are you going high here in qualifying, Dave, or are you trying to stay on the lower part of the track?
Well, I think I'm probably going to take a lap or two both ways. Obviously, the bottom of the racetrack is the shortest way around in terms of distance. It's harder to keep your momentum up down low, especially if your car isn't quite set up perfectly. Up high is where a Big Mo lives, where the momentum is. So if I'm one of these guys, I'm going to do a couple down low, and I'm going to do a couple up high just to see where the speed is.
Riding along right now with HD as he's working his way around the racetrack, riding that middle lane. You know, our broadcast yesterday of the NASCAR Xfinity Series season finale, we had Kurt Busch on the air with us. He labels each lane from the bottom to the top. Lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, lane 4, and even lane 4.5.
Yeah,
right
Tyler Reddick yesterday was in lane 4.5. He was like an inch off the wall.
Yeah, we had him set by the truck here for a little while, and congratulations to him. Here's one of the favorites coming off the PS4 scene, the man from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the Bear. And I asked him who the favorite was. He said me.
I like it. You got to be confident. If you don't have the confidence in yourself, you shouldn't even be on the stage. Good four-car draft working down to the corner, and you see three of those cars like to run the bottom of the racetrack. We have one up there, and there's that crossover that we're seeing there. That's what we were talking about a moment ago and how you attack this track. That is, of course, that's Dead Man Rising driving the 42 car there. He went high and dove down to the bottom on exit of the corner to try to get a run.
There's an advantage to running in a group like this, particularly if you're third or fourth in line, because you're able to catch a draft off the guys in front of you. But the disadvantage of that is you don't necessarily get to pick your line. If the guys in front of you go high, or worse, yeah, one of them goes high, one of them goes low, you basically got the middle of the racetrack for open asphalt.
And in this 10-lap qualifying session, I got to tell you, these guys are the best, but if it's me, I don't want to be in a pack. I do not want somebody else to dictate where I have to go. The idea is to run your best, your smoothest lap out there and make sure that you get your qualifying time down. And don't worry about, like what we're seeing here, guys running side by side, you're more worried about holding your line as opposed to taking the fast line.
Well, we are in qualifying right now. That's the number 4 car Slider, the Jimmy John's Ford, coming down from Southern Illinois. He won on week 4 of our series out at Dover. And we mentioned these guys are setting their cars up for as fast as they can see. You can see a little contact there even in qualifying. They're running almost 200 miles an hour into the turns. I don't think we'll see that in the 40 lap, but they're really set up for speed.
Well, we just saw cars bounce off of each other, bounce off the safer barrier, exactly what we're just talking about. This is qualifying. We're not racing yet. They're not going to give away $10,000 here at the end of 10 laps. get your smooth lap in there, then go race for the money.
Well, I think their target right now is maybe 30, 30.5. If they can get sub 30, and you're maybe almost locking yourself into the pole. 31's not going to cut it. Over 31 is not going to get it done on Homestead.
We're 10 laps in qualifying. 8 of those 10 have been complete as we're watching these guys run. I understand that the draft can come into play, Dave, but realistically at Homestead-Miami Speedway, the draft only kicks in on the last quarter of the 2 straightaways. Not nearly enough to help you.
That's right. And at this point, if you're not where you want to be, well, that's not going to help.
No, it's
not. If you're not where you want to be right
we got
now,
some spin outs.
It's time to find yourself an open lane.
Let's take a look at a replay if we can, Dave, of the number 9 who also had some trouble. This was before even the spin out that we just saw. So we got some guys that are really trying to push it hard here in Miami.
Well, and they are. But the beautiful thing about it is it's qualifying. That'll buff right out, no problem. We'll have the same car, we're ready to go racing. It's qualifying, that's why you get 10 laps. You take the best one of your 10 laps.
Well, for the adjudicators and marshals and all that kind of stuff back in the back that are qualifying the times and setting them up, that's going to be winding down the end of qualifying. You see Pro Boss, one of the favorites, is the guy that had spent a lot of time in the community, really gathering people around, starting a lot of his own leagues, trying to grow the community, and he's just so excited to see this thing grow, and really a rough qualifier.
And you could tell by the look on his face that wadding her up on the final lap was not a part of his game plan there, but that's one of those disadvantages to running in a group. Somebody makes a mistake, somebody gets into the back of you, and you're in it whether you like it or not.
By the way, this is just a dream. I was talking to a lot of the drivers yesterday, just to have you 2 gentlemen along with us. They're like, that. You're just adding more and more to the realism that we're about to face as these guys are getting set to go 40 times around Homestead-Miami. And we're just waiting to find out who's going to be on Cole, who's going to be on the pole, who's going to be in the grid. And of course, that's up to the guys in the back. They got to time those things out. So we welcome you back in here to the desk along with Dave Moody, Alex Hayden. I'm Scott Cole, Nikki Shields down there on the pits. So did you see anything besides a little bumping and grinding? And I'm with you. I let everybody go away from me. I'm trying to run a clean lap here.
Yeah, it's about qualifying. I mean, again, they're not giving away $10,000 for qualifying. Yeah, you're going to get an advantage if you start at the front of the field, but that advantage is not going to be won when you're twisting around backwards and pirouetting down the backstretch.
Yeah, the advantage of the arrow of the draft at a track like Homestead, it's there, but it's nothing like it would be at Daytona or Talladega. My strategy would have been to get away from everybody, even if I had to feather it around for half a lap or 3/4 of a lap to just get my own open asphalt, be able to pick the lane I wanted, experiment up high, experiment down low, and find out where the speed was.
Yeah, Dave and I usually try to just stay away from each other all the time
all
anyway.
the time.
So
all
yes,
the time.
I noticed
stay away.
Let's take a look at the times. We got them in and see who's going to be lining up on the grid here, and it's actually going to be the youngster CGM Rose ran a 30.5. That was sort of my prediction on where you'd have to be up front. One of the favorites, HD Motorsports, there in third. Dirty Worm in second. Dirty Worm Germ in third. And the favorite, the overall favorite, the Bear, he's going to have to start in that 5th slot.
It's going to be fun because we can call them favorites, but everybody on this stage is a favorite. They wouldn't be racing for the championship here in NASCAR Heat Champions Road to Miami, the finals, unless they were that good. So yeah, I understand that we got to call folks favorites, but I got to tell you, I can take any one of these guys.
Now, they're not running as teams, but I can tell you what, there has, and I'm not saying the word, there's
collusion.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it because there's going to be some guys that have talked about what, hey, if we get together, hey, let's try to make this thing happen. Let's try to pass through, and let's go down and meet the guy that's going to be starting on the pole. Nikki's down with Rose.
Yeah, Rose, I mean, what an awesome way to start the day. How does it feel to be starting the race from pole position?
It feels amazing being able to start up front, not get caught up in trouble at the back. It's going to definitely help me.
How much of an advantage will it be in the race to be starting at the front?
A huge advantage. I don't want to be stuck back, lose tons of time, getting caught up, racing with everybody else.
And what's most important, do you just want to win this race so you can be crowned champion, or do you want to be going home with $10,000 in your pocket?
$10,000 in my pocket.
Yeah, of course he does. Well, Rose, good luck for the race. Get ready to go, and hopefully we'll catch up with you afterwards. Back to you guys.
That was a guy that actually qualified on week 7 out in Martinsville, even though he's from Miami. His dad's in the crowd, and so all of a sudden, somebody we weren't even talking about in the pre-race, he's going to start up front. What does that mean for him?
Well, it's a huge advantage because, like he said, you don't want to be having to pass 10 or 11 guys to win this thing. I don't know if being the leader on the last lap is necessarily an advantage or not, because you're going to be wearing that bullseye. But to start this race in the top 5, to be able to sort yourself out a little bit and not have to race like it's life and death on lap 1, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I want to be at the start of the race. I want to be the hunted and let everybody else be the hunters. But when it comes to that last lap, I got to tell you, I wouldn't be all that disappointed if I was running 3rd or 4th on the last lap, because there's a pretty good opportunity that some of these guys may get into each other and might not be very happy at the end of it.
Now, they don't need to pit, but they can pit. I assume a lot of them are going to stay out unless we have some cautions that come along. And I think some tire wear, when you start talking about those laps 30 through 40, it's going to be interesting what lines they run based on maybe a little less traction.
I wouldn't anticipate seeing anybody on pit road unless the caution flag is out. To pit under green at this point, it's going to put you 3/4 of a lap to a lap behind. You're not going to make that up by yourself. The caution flag comes out and you're not exactly happy with the way your car is performing, absolutely come to pit road, take on some tires, and start anew.
Which puts a paramount on how smooth you are with the steering wheel or with the controller, because the tighter you turn that wheel or flick that joystick side to side, you're going to scrub the tires even more. And it's Homestead-Miami. This track surface is kind of like a cheese grater the way it is. So the more you scrub and slide the tires in the corner, the worse you're going to be.
Here's a reminder, this is how they're going to line up on the grid. Of course, Rose on the pole. We talked about HD Motorsports. He's one of the favorites coming out of the Xbox, but the Bear, in practice, he looked really good, and everybody was talking him up, but he's going to start in 5th, so he's going to have to make some moves and make them early.
But let's be clear, the difference from first to last is 0.6 of a second. That's virtually nothing. That's catching a good draft for half the length of the back straightaway, or getting a good clean run into turn 1 and not having to check up. 0.6 of a second from number 1 to number 12. Everybody is in this for the win right now.
And let's face it, this is the finals, and this is the opportunity for everybody to sit down on stage with this huge crowd here at Ford Championship weekend to watch this. There may be some nerves out there to get those opening laps in there. Settle down. Now you've got 10 laps under your belt from qualifying. Settle in. Let's go racing.
Well, there's the patrons. There's the supporters. They're going to be supporting these drivers. They all got a favorite, and we're just around the corner from getting this thing going. 40 laps are coming just around the bend here from Miami. Stick around.
It's obviously a huge advantage when you're playing at home. Unless, of course, you don't have Xfinity. Right, Kevin?
Hey, man, I'm lagging. Are you streaming again?
You know I watch my shows on Thursdays.
Take your game to the next level with Xfinity X5.
I hang around 4th or 5th. Wait for someone to do something stupid.
They're taking them into the wall.
I love it. I love the competition.
How to make it happen, that's it.
I'm usually more of a patient dude, but given what's at stake here, got to be a little bit more aggressive.
She's on it over here. I'm a NASCAR fan, diehard fan.
I've been playing NASCAR games for over 10 years. It's a dream come true. It's just awesome.
There we go. I've never really done anything like this.
And we have a pile up.
I'm just a NASCAR fanatic, man. I love racing.
Be consistent, drive hard, do what it takes to get in victory lane.
Pedal to the metal, man. Just go all out, all or nothing.
Welcome back to a beautiful Sunday here in Miami. It's been an incredible weekend. We just wrapped up the qualifying session. We're moments away from the big event here, the NASCAR Heat Champions. They'll be running 40 laps to see who's going to be taking home 10 grand. There's a lot of nerves not being shown there, I think, at this point. Scott Cole along with Alex Hayden, Dave Moody, Nikki Shields is down in the pits. And gentlemen, These are guys that have run a lot of racing. They've been waiting for years. Some of these guys have been running NASCAR games for a decade, and they've been waiting for this moment. This is their moment.
It's a chance to become a superstar in your league. It's a chance to say, I went up against the best in the world, and I prevailed. I'm the #1 guy. This is the day to do all your woofing. If you can make it happen, this is the day to pat yourself on the back and tell everybody just how good you are.
There should be some confidence. There should be a little bit of extra swag. These are the best. It's time to show it. You got 40 laps to get the job done.
Well, we just got done with the qualifying, and we have our man Rose. He's up on top. That man right there is going to be starting the #2 position. That's HD Motorsports. He came in as the favorite coming off the Xbox, but that's the man on pole, the youngster. He had all this experience, and it's the young guy that comes in and ends up running the fastest time in qualifying. That was a 30.5, but as Dave said, there's just tenths of a second separating all our drivers.
Even though it's the youngster and the minimal experience, we'll call it, sometimes, Dave, that's a good thing. When you don't have that much experience, you don't know what you don't know, as they say.
We had a Cinderella story win the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship here at Homestead-Miami Speedway yesterday. Tyler Reddick was not the consensus pick. He was not the guy that everybody had on their radar as the guy to win the championship. He walked away with a big trophy.
Well, you talked about bragging rights. That's on the line for sure. We've got a little bit more than that. 10 grand going to the winner. You talk about having the opportunity to come back here next year for a 3-day experience. The hot passes, even second and third, are going to get an opportunity from our folks at NASCAR that are passing out some cool stuff. And I tell you, this is what they've been waiting on. And the winner, of course, that's what it's all about. But second and third are going to have an opportunity to take home some things as well. And of course, the winner has an opportunity to take home $500,000 if they can win here and then have an opportunity to guess. For more on that, let's bring back in Nikki Shields.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, not only will the winner go home with £10,000, but the winner of today's NASCAR Heat Championship Road to Miami final will also get the opportunity to guess the winning time of today's Ford EcoBoost 400 race. If they guess the winning time within 5 seconds, plus or minus, they will go home with, wait for it, $500,000, $500,000 in their pocket. What an amazing prize to go home with. And now, just to give you a bit of a clue, over the last 15 years, the average winning time has been 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 58 seconds. So we'll find out what they go for. Back to you guys.
I think it was Jeff Gordon who ran a really, what was that, a 2-hour, 40-minute race at one point back in 12. And of course, Nikki, it's dollars. They'll put the pounds out there. They'll take that remaining out of my paycheck, I can tell you that. But a lot up for grabs. We talked about the bragging rights, talked about the cash, all the cool prizes that are being given away. But let's talk a little bit about these nerves. I mean, you got done qualifying, you've been practicing all weekend, but now you got to put the rubber to the road, so to speak.
Practice is free. Practice is easy. Nobody's watching. Nobody's grading you. There's nothing on the line. If you pass somebody, they're not that upset. If you get passed by somebody else, you're not that upset. That's all changed now.
It is, and those 10 laps, great. Let's knock the nerves out of the way. You're not going to be 2 laps down. You're not going to be 4 laps down. However, when the green flag flies here in a moment for the main event, 40 laps, they're running full damage. They're running no assists, so they know they better make sure they keep the fenders straight on these cars.
Now, a big argument among the esports racing community in all games, it's are you on a wheel? Are you on a controller? And these guys, I mean, it's almost fighting words. If you're like, no, controller's faster. The wheel guys start to speak up and say, no, the wheel is so much better. A majority of our drivers are on a wheel here. We have a few guys on controller, but let me just say right now, CGM Rose, fastest guy we had in qualifying, he's on a controller. Of course, they're on our Thrustmaster wheel. Got a little pedals down there as well. I'm a controller guy, but also when you're in the turns, it's nice holding the wheel. It may be a little easier to hold your line.
To get that little bit of resistance and to be able to just set that wheel and hold it there and feel it pushing back on you. You don't necessarily get that with the controller, but it hasn't seemed to slow them down any.
I'm a wheel guy, and I play NASCAR Heat 3. I'm a wheel guy, and the reason is it's about when you have to overcorrect, because loose is fast. That's the same in esports. It's the same out on the main track out here. Loose is fast. So when you turn to the left to go in the corner, to be fast, you literally have to turn back to the right. Once the back end starts to slide on you, you get the car as straight as you can for the run down the straightaway.
Well, you can take our opinion or you can listen to our 12 drivers.
You got to drive a wheel because you can't drive a car with a controller.
I think the controller is just as good as the wheels, seeing how to race it.
A wheel for the precision, the realism.
I've always raced on a controller my whole life. That's what I'm comfortable with.
Controller, I feel like you're not as consistent as you can run on a wheel.
I like a wheel. I like the car because I like to be able to feel what I'm doing.
A wheel? I grew up racing in real life. It's just a lot more realistic.
I use a wheel, and wheels because it's consistency.
A controller is the way to go.
Wheel!
Controller.
Wheel. Controller.
Wheel.
Wheel. Wheel.
Wheel. Team wheel.
Well, we talked about the bank here at Homestead. Gentlemen, how far are we turning that wheel?
As far as you need to find that piece of open asphalt. If they're lined up in front of you, you got to get to the bottom. You take it to the bottom.
Absolutely. NASCAR Heat 3 is about as realistic a game as you're going to get. I don't drive my street car with a controller. Give me a steering wheel.
I love it. Let's remind you guys of our 12 drivers one more time. HD Motorsports, he's one of the favorites. He'll be starting in that second position. Smoke Fan will be in the number 18 M&Ms. You see Slider there, Pro Boss, FedEx. And he says if he gets in front, he's like Federal Express, man. You can count on it. He's going to take you home. There's our pole position guy, Rose. He'll be in the number 10, Smithville Foods. So we'll have to watch out for him. The Bear in the number 2, Brad Keselowski, Ford Fusion. And there's Dirty Worm, Dead Man Rising, Gearhead, and Kyle Crane. These last 3 are the guys that qualified right here in Miami. They're starting close to the back of the pack, even with qualifying, but anything can happen up ahead of them. You just got to keep your head down.
In order to finish first, you must first finish. Full damage, no assist. If somebody bounces it off the safer barrier, Dave, they could be toast, and they could be toast early on. Keep the fenders clean.
Particularly in the opening few laps, if there's a problem, it's probably not going to be a single car incident. If you can make your way through the mess, go from the back of the pack to the middle or the front of the pack with one incident, you're back in the game.
Well, the engines have been started. They are lining up. They got smiles for now. We'll see if those smiles still remain after we knock out these 40 laps. They're all loading in here on Homestead Miami. Just to remind you, 40 laps. You don't have to pit if you don't want to. If you get damaged, you're probably going to have to go in. And we got a good crowd out here supporting these guys. 10 grand on the line, maybe $500,000, and here we go. The green is out, and we start with the number 22. That's HD Motorsports out of Baltimore, Maryland, and he is rocking and rolling into turn 1.
Inside lane, here's a quick switch up from left to right. Dirty Worm now looking to the outside, trying to take the lead. They work through turns 3 and 4 for the first time of 40 trips around this track.
Will they come back to the start-finish line? Dirty Worm Germ out there making moves early, trying to push on the youngster Rose, and there is the man that set the pole. He is out in front.
And they're tearing it up in the back of the pack. That's exactly what we were concerned about from about 6th place on back. They're all in the fence and crashing.
The guys at the front of the field, the guys at the front of the field, they don't care. Caution flag is out. Settle down, and you got to be careful too. Just relax. Now you've got that first crash out of the way. If you're in it, sorry, go to pit road, get things taken care of. If you're not in it, just sit back, catch your breath now, and get ready for this restart.
Scott Cole, Alex Hayden, Dave Moody, voices of NASCAR, and Nikki Shields is down in the pits. And, well, we thought about the Barry starting in 5th. He actually made a good move there starting. At one point, he had pushed himself in a 2nd, but he's currently running along in 3rd. And there's a good view at the man on the left side of your screen. That's the youngster Rose. Louis Zater, right here from Miami, Florida. Actually qualified in week 7 up at Martinsville. And it looks like we're getting ready to go one more time, all green. And this is tough, guys, because these guys don't run together on a weekly basis. Is there anything to that, Dave, where a little bit unfamiliar with the guys' characteristics.
You have no idea what's going to happen around you. You barely know what you're going to do next, much less what they're going to do next. And again, on this restart, the bottom gets the initial advantage. We'll see what happens, but a little piece of the wall by Rose coming off turn 2.
How about this, the Cinderella story? Kyle Crane to the front of the field. He now bounces off the safer barrier, but Kyle Crane, here we go, trouble coming off turn 4.
Well,
cars begin to slide and crash one more time, but Kyle Crane was the last to qualify to make it into this event. He was leading on that restart.
Well, that might help some of the guys in the back, though. It had some damage from the first crash. So our second yellow flag of the day. And tell you what, you talked about Kyle was running along in first and maybe saw that open air. Next thing you know, he catches the wall and falls all the way back.
Well, here's the news. Crashing is never a winning strategy, and a handful of these guys now have torn it up twice. We've yet to complete a single lap. Those top 5 guys that have been able to keep away from each other and out of the fence, they're getting more and more of an advantage here as we move along.
Only 5 seconds remain to make those adjustments on the pit stop, get back out on the track, and we get set for the restart.
All right, we're looking ready to get started again. There's a look at Kyle Crane. Doesn't even play online, just showed up and his son said, get up there, Dad, see what you can do. Next thing you know, he's in the opportunity to win 10 grand. It could be a Cinderella story here in Miami as we get set to restart again. And like you said, Dave, we have yet to complete a full lap, even though we've logged a few in the 40.
A little more calm in the back of the pack this time. They're not 4 and 5 wide at the drop of the green flag, but we're already getting guys into the wall again in turn 2.
A lot of dancing around your pole sitter there. You got a ride along with him, a good shot of his face, the concentration. His eyes aren't even blinking. That's how concentrated he is right now.
Well, getting a little squirrely going 3 wide there. This is the guy that was on the pole, the youngster to start it off, and he's got the bear right in front of him. At one point, the bear was second. He's fallen all the way back to 8 here in the... We're just a quarter way through lap 10 of 40 here on Homestead.
And he got rousted out early and gotten shuffled almost all the way to the back of the pack. He's just now got to get his focus back, get the rhythm back, hit his lines, and just start making his way back into this thing one pass at a time.
Let's make it clear once more. These drivers did not get to pick which car they're going to drive. Contact at the front of the field. Everybody, seemed to get away with it unscathed, but slider... hard contact there. We're gonna wad him up a little bit more.
Well, I tell you what, that number 4, Jimmy Johns Ford, that slider out of Southern Illinois, he's been involved in all 3 of our cautions so far. So right now, he's the guy that maybe we should change his gamer tag to Wreckfest because it's like a demolition derby on the back end.
That slider's fitting. He's sliding around out there a little bit.
So we're under caution again. Let's take another look at it. You can see he just goes to the inside what's coming down the front stretch there, and then everybody gets put in the spin cycle.
Well, it's going to be a while here before the front tires are even pointing in the same direction for some of these cars. They're going east in the southbound lane. I think the strategy very clearly right now, if you're anywhere in the top 6 or 7, just settle down. Just get in line, do a little bit of racing, try and get away from these guys in the back of the pack that are having to go all out and having problems.
One thing I've noticed on these early laps cautions that we're seeing, when they do get up to speed, there's a lot of weaving back and forth, a lot of instability out there. If I'm doing this, I'm paying close attention to that, which means I'm going to find a spot either right down on that white line or all the way up against the safer barrier. Just stay away from everybody else. Let them bounce side to side. Just get yourself away and find yourself a nice, quiet piece of real estate.
Well, there's the number 1 had a car on FedEx who's now moved up into 7th position now.
Pro Boss had a bad trip through turn 1 and 2, got the wall 2 different times. That dropped him to the back of the pack. And you can see these guys near the front now, they're settling down, they're staying off each other, just running good lines and trying to put a little distance between themselves and the competition.
Riding along with FedEx, he's the guy that delivers. Let's see what he can do now at the front of the field.
The leader, number 18 on that M&M car, that's Smoke Fan. And finally, we're getting ourselves into a rhythm here in Miami.
running the middle of the racetrack. We're interested, we were talking about it during qualifying, which lane were they going to take? Looks like now that we've settled things down just a bit, most drivers want to ride the middle of the racetrack. Not a bad choice of lanes because it gives you plenty of room right and left.
Smoke Fan going middle on entry into turn 1 and turn 3, and just kind of drifting downward a little bit midway in the corner, and then coming out all the way out next to the wall, trying not to scrub any speed off those tires by making radical moves.
Look at the hands on the wheel from Smoke Man. Very smooth with the wheel. He's not really fighting it back and forth, which means he's not wearing out those front tires. Nice job being smooth at the front of the field by Smoke Fan.
Well, looking to the inside, that's the number 12 car. That's Worm trying to get door to door with our leader in the number 18, the man from Fayetteville, Georgia. But hey, if you're on the top side, you're on the good side.
That wide open bottom looks so inviting when you're traveling behind the leader, but you jump down to the inside and all of a sudden you've got a full blast of air over the hood of your race car. It's like throwing out a parachute, which is why you see them pull to the inside and then they just stall out and have to slide right back up in line.
And the sharper you go, which means the lower in the corners you go, the more you pinch that race car off. You can't keep the momentum wound up. Oh, trouble here. This is the driver that was battling for the top spot, working the outside lane, and not going to be battling for the lead on this particular lap.
And he collected number 42, Deadman, as well. That was FedEx that was able to clear through, but the number 12 car and Dirty Worm, that's Jeremy Smith out of South Carolina. And once again, the caution flag's out for the 4th time today.
That's how quickly it can go wrong. A lap ago, he was challenging for the lead, running side by side for the lead, and he's in the fence and torn up. So much for the early Worm this time.
You're a pro.
22 laps to go. We mentioned the 4 caution flags, but now we're reaching that halfway point. We've had some players go in and pit. They have fixed their damage, but that also means they might have some newer tires than some of the guys that have been staying out.
I still like my chances if I'm running at the front of the field. I've been impressed with what Smoke Fan's done, especially on that green flag run. He's your control car here on this next restart from the inside lane in the 18 car. I like how smooth he is with the wheel. I'm not worried about his tires right now.
So FedEx able to get through the congestion. He's running 2nd right now. Still in the lead is Smoke Fan. And lap 22 of 40. And we'll stack up again. We'll get going again. As you see HD Motorsport sliding in. There's Rose, goes door to door with the number 4 car. And he'll slide into that 4th position.
Good 5-car tussle at the front of the field through turns 3 and 4. Another crash further back, hard hit head on there, working to the outside lane. Still smooth by Smoke Fan. That outside lane, he understands who's underneath him. Give them plenty of racing room to the bottom. Don't get caught up in somebody else's mistake.
He has been by far the smoothest and most consistent. He's not changing lanes, bouncing from the inside to the outside down the straightaways. He's just hitting his line. Here he comes into the turn. A little bit of challenge on the bottom, but again, he doesn't panic. He holds his line.
That's the number 18 Smoke Fan coming in from Fayetteville, Georgia. Actually qualified out in Richmond in week 2 of our series. And FedEx running along in 2nd. That's the only challenge. We've got a 3rd driver behind him. That looked like the 22 of HD Motorsports. And we talk about everybody going to the inside. This is probably the best run we've seen on the inner part of the track as they race down into the turn. Will it be enough?
FedEx to the inside of turn 3. He'll try the slide job. Occupying the outside lane, Smoke Fan, another solid job. There's contact. Smoke Fan goes around. They're going to wad him up here. They come to lap 25. 15 laps to go in the main event for NASCAR Heat Champions Road to Miami, the finals. $10,000 on the line, 15 laps left.
Dave, he did not want to give up that number 1 spot.
From the penthouse to the outhouse was being challenged down on the bottom of the racetrack, got a little too high off the corner, got a piece of the wall, overcorrected to the left, and it was gone.
Went from 1st to 8th for Smoke Fan, and it's good news for FedEx. Now he's the guy that's out in front with HD Motorsports behind him. I talked to HD Motorsports yesterday. He said, I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to hang out to the end of the race. But you might see me 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. When it's time to make a move, I'll make a move.
I don't necessarily think there's hardly anybody left that hasn't had to go to pit road as of yet. It looks like just about everybody from start to finish to where we're at right now in this event has had some sort of a problem on the racetrack.
There's our leader, FedEx, Hunter Mullen from Henry, Virginia, in that Monster Energy Ford on the restart. And he's got HD Motorsports on his high side as they move back into the turn.
He's going to look to get him cleared, I imagine, and then we'll probably slide up to that outside wall right about now, coming off turn number 2. He's going to hold that low line. Wants to make sure that nobody's behind him looking to get into that right rear quarter panel coming off turn 2.
Well, the Bear right now is hoping the leader takes him through. He's now moving into second now for the man out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So we talked about the Bear and HD Motorsports, and there they are, second and fourth as we go across. Just a few laps to go.
The Bear dives to the inside. He's going to try to get a run off the corner. Gets a nose out in front. He'll go to the top spot as they hit the backstretch.
Got a little drafting help from Pro Boss as well, who follows him through on the inside. Both of them slide up into the outside lane, and they'll go 1 and 2 now.
They're right along with the hood cam with that man right there. They call him the Bear, and he's got nothing but clean air in lap 29 of 40. Just 10 to go, now 11 to go. Running a 30.7. That's faster than he ran in the qualifier.
Well, he can dictate that. Yeah, he's in the front of the field. He can dictate what line he runs and what pace. He's now opening up by, it looks like a good solid 2 car lengths. They're stacked up double wide as a couple of more cars go sliding around back to the back.
Be interesting to see if he can get away from this field. They should be able to catch a draft still and gather up that gap, eliminate the deficit, but he's doing a pretty good job right now of getting himself out of the pack.
Well, when they're stacked up 2 and 3 wide from second on back, those drivers right now are so consumed with not bouncing off of each other. That's everything Bear wants to see as he takes a peek in the rearview mirror. He knows that he's got a couple of car length advantage. Simply be smooth. $10,000, less than 10 laps to go.
That's the number 9 Napa know-how of Pro Boss looking in. He's got the racing gloves on. Is that not serious for you?
Got to do what you got to do. Anything that gives you that comfort level, however you race at home, is you better bring that to the championship, because it's all about the same field, the same comfort level. You got to run for $10,000. He's got to run now, going to the inside.
I like the way Pro Boss is approaching this right now. I'm not sure I want to be the leader with 7 or 8 laps to go. I like where he's positioned. He's got a gap between himself and a side-by-side battle for 3rd and 4th. Takes a little peek to the bottom every now and then just to keep him honest, but I like the run he's got going right now.
Bear is the leader in car number 2. Pro Boss in the 9 car. He is stalking, riding the tire tracks. You see the back of the car getting free on him as he works up the banking. I like the strategy. Give him a peek to the outside. Make Bear look at that mirror at the top of the screen as opposed to which lane he's going to take. Try to rattle his cage a little bit here in the closing laps.
And if you look at what Bear's done here the last couple of laps, he was the guy running right up on the outside post. Now he's moved to the bottom in the corners trying to protect against that inside move.
7 laps to go, $10,000 on the line here at Championship Day, Sunday at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Little view from the blimp here, guys. You can see the separation between the 2 and the 9, the 78, not too far behind. That's garbage we haven't talked about much at all. All of a sudden, he slid up into that 3rd position with just 6 laps coming up to go. We're going to have a heck of a finish here in Miami.
Bear's been able to drive away by a car length or 2, and then all of a sudden that gap is closed back by Pro Boss. So Pro Boss seems like he's got more pace than Bear does right now.
And I'll tell you what, don't count garbage out of this either. He was in at least a couple of those early skirmishes, and he is right there. He has come back up through the pack very solidly on the back bumper now of Pro Boss for that number 3 position.
On board with garbage, coming off turn 4. Coming back to the start-finish line. Here's a peek to the lead. We talked about it before the race started, Dave. I wouldn't be all that upset if I was running 3rd or 4th on the final closing laps.
Boy, garbage, though, doesn't want 3rd or 4th. He wants the bottom. Oh, and Pro Boss is up into the wall.
They spin all the way around. That's going to collect maybe half of the pack. And it might be the Bear and Garbage are the only ones that were able to come free with Slider there in third.
If I'm Bear, I'm a little sick to my stomach right now. He was dictating which line he wanted, keeping everybody blocking. Inside lane blocking, outside lane. Now all of a sudden we have a restart, and we know how crazy restarts can be.
Yeah, especially down near the end. This is our 5th caution. We've seen a lot of chaos at the back of the pack. Haven't had the flag out in a while, and I think you're right, Alex. He was running strong. He was setting the pace, setting the line, and take a look at it again. Pro Boss gets into the number 18 of Smoke Fan, and then the rest of the pack just gets collected.
Pro Boss just got a little bit loose coming off the top of that corner, tried to take it back down to the bottom to guard against that inside pass, and just lost the handle on it. Slipped down, made contact with another car, and that's all she wrote.
The key right now is going to be how many laps are left here on the restart.
Green flag through the gearbox to go, and again, they are manual transmissions. These aren't automatics. The drivers must change the gear. 2 laps to go here in the finals, presented by Xfinity. NASCAR Heat 3, who's going to take home $10,000?
This is where the serious throat cutting and backstabbing begins. 2 laps to go. You've got no friends out there anymore. You got to do whatever you got to do.
And we have another flag coming out here with 2 laps to go. That had to happen in the back of the pack on the restart. And what about Slider, the guy that caused all kind of chaos at the beginning of the race? He's now sitting there in that number 4 car in the 2nd position. Needs a strong restart when we come back.
He's utilizing the wreck early and then come to the front when everybody else wrecks late strategy. Time proven, works every time.
That's the beauty of it, though. You got 40 laps to get in, get your car repaired, get back out on the racetrack, and then wait for everybody else to get a little bit antsy, cause some problems for themselves, and just sneak your way to the front of the field. Yeah, we all know the story of the tortoise and the hare and how that plays out.
You can see getting on the wall, that's the 22 of HD Motorsports as the number 10 tries to have it back in. This thing might be finishing under caution the way it's been going. But here we go, green again, one more restart. Can the Bear pull on the number 4? Door to door, 2 laps to go.
He's got a fender out in front. The question is who's going to have the guts to drive it deeper into turn 1? It's going to be the Bear. He'll slide up though, Dave. Maybe that was a mistake. The inside lane is open.
Inside is open, and sliding down into the lead comes Pro Boss. He's got the spot, and he's got himself a little daylight now in turn 3.
Caution on the speedway again. Still 2 laps to go. Big crash at the back of the pack heading into turn number 3. Another restart is dead ahead.
Well, the back of the field is where desperation lives right now. If you're outside that top 5 or 6, you're going to have to do something darn spectacular to get back into this thing for the win. And I think we're seeing that on these restarts. Guys are just making crazy moves in the back.
Pro Boss will be the control car to start here as we get set to go.
There's the Bear leading for majority of the back half of this race, but he's given the lead up to Pro Boss, so that he's going to have another great restart. Pro Boss out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Qualified at Talladega on Xbox One.
We got Pro Boss fans in the house here at Homestead Ford Championship weekend.
And his family in the building, and here we go. We're going to be going green this lap. We're in a little bit of overtime situation here in the championship. 10 grand on the line. We're going to go green again. Pro Boss on the inside, Bear on the outside.
Pro Boss is in the blue and white Napa car, the 9 car. Inside lane, fender out in front. The Bear tries to rally back on the outside. FedEx is going to give some assistance to the bottom in turn 1.
FedEx is not out of this yet. He roots him up out of the groove, gets to the inside.
3 wide.
3 wide for the lead, and into the wall, into the outside lane.
$10,000 on the line. White flag next time by. New leader headed to turn 3. It's FedEx. He's trying to deliver today.
The man from Henry, Virginia. White flag out. Here we go.
Pro Boss is
more
getting knocked
lap.
all over the racetrack. It's gone away in a big hurry for him. In the final 2 laps, he's gone from the lead all the way back
How
to
about
5th or
Deadman?
6th.
The
Deadman
local.
Rising qualified here this weekend to get into this finals. He finds himself running in the 2nd spot, right at the front of the field, though. It's FedEx looking for $10,000 coming off turn 4.
Slider able to take that 2nd position. Here comes FedEx. Around the opportunity. Here is FedEx. He will take the checkered flag, take the 10 grand, and he was patient all day long. And gentlemen, FedEx, as you said it, pun intended, he has delivered here in Miami. He is your champion.
Congratulations to FedEx. What a race that was. So much fun. Different strategies being utilized. Everybody seemed to have problems throughout the running of this 40-lap event, and FedEx with a heck of a move on that last restart.
Tremendous job on that final restart. Got himself some open racetrack. Utilized a little bit of a bump and run on that final circuit to move the leader up the track. Didn't wreck him, just moved him, opened up the racetrack he needed to win this thing.
Well, some amazing racing right there from number 41. Just followed Pro Boss through on the restart, and as you said, gave him a little rub, just a little nudge, just said, I'm coming through, and he never let go after that.
Heck, I'm wrecking my grandma for $10,000.
I'd wreck you for half of that.
What an incredible race.
A lot of fun, a little bit of everything I think we saw in that 40-lap run. From the inside lane outside, everybody, you could tell there were some nerves there early on with a lot of guys weaving back and forth, trying to figure out where their car was going to be best.
Hey, here's the finish, gentlemen. One more time. You can see the face. He's like, come on, baby. That's all he needed. I don't think he led a lap, but he led the most important one right there at the end.
The only one that matters is the one where they cut the check, and that's the last lap. He did a great job and was right where he needed to be, made all the right moves at all the right time.
And what do we know? He won with a controller.
See?
See?
You and all your talk about you don't drive your car with a controller, maybe he should.
Oh, Hunter Mullins from Henry, Virginia is going to be your winner, and he is standing by with Nikki Shields.
Congratulations, my man. Wow, that was seriously intense. You are literally shaking to the bone, aren't you?
Nerves are fired up.
That was seriously touch and go. I mean, it was pretty much a battle between old Boss and Bear, and then you just swooped in.
It was a hard-fought race. Everybody was very competitive all week. I appreciate everybody racing me clean all week. Appreciate the Bear, all my group in Venom Racing. You guys did a great job this week. We practiced all week for this, and it was a wonderful ending. We all ended where we wanted to.
Oh, huge congratulations. You can see really, really what it means to you. Do you think this is the best moment in your gaming career?
Oh, for sure. #1 moment in my life.
No one remember life. Well, I think on that note then, I think we should probably present to you the incredible, this huge check of $10,000. Woo! Right, okay. Now, just quickly, what are you going to do with that money? How are you going to spend it?
New car, probably.
New car.
A late model or something.
Right, okay, that sounds expensive. Now, let's not forget that there is also the opportunity to win a bigger prize, because we need to ask you to give us a time, what you think the winning race time is going to be here today for the Ford EcoBoost 400 race. And if you get that within 5 seconds, plus or minus, you go home with $500,000. Yeah, woohoo, you'll be shaking after that, mate, tell you. Go on then, so what's the time? Now, I'll give you a clue. The average time over the last 15 years has been 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 58 seconds. What are you going to go for?
3:02.33 seconds.
So that's 3 hours, 2 minutes, and
33 seconds.
And 33 seconds. Well, here we go. Well, good luck for that later. And you're obviously going to share that winnings with everyone here, right?
Oh, yeah, drinks on me for everybody.
Yeah, okay, all right. Lots of drinks. We'll make that champagne. All right, well, huge, huge congratulations. Everyone give a massive, massive round of applause to FedEx. Got one happy boy here. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Yeah, I mean, 2 of the last 5 years had been a 3:02 and some change, so not a bad guess. Final thoughts here from Miami.
Well, I'm just curious whether drinks for everybody includes everybody or just, you know, the fellow competitors. He did a great job. Was caught up in a couple of incidents early, kept his composure, kept his focus, fought his way to the front just in time on that final lap.
So much fun to crown a champion in esports here at NASCAR Heat 3. A lot of fun. It was a privilege for us to be a part of it. Look forward later today to finding out who's going to be the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Yeah, my day's just ending. Your days are just beginning, but you're right. Speaking of beginnings, that's where this esports thing is going. It's getting huge. Big shout out to the guy in the number 41 car, Hunter Mullins, 10 grand richer today and getting it done in the final lap of our race with an opportunity later on to win of $500,000. Final question for you guys. Who do you guys got winning tonight?
Well, I wish I knew. If I could narrow it down even to just 2 out of the 4, I'd probably put some money down in Vegas right now. From start of the season to finish, I think Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick have been the men to beat. I expect that'll continue tonight.
I think it's going to come down to a late pit stop. Short run car, based off what we've seen in practice, Joey Logano wins the championship.
All right, there you heard it from the voices of NASCAR. A little booze out in the crowd
Hayden
on that
getting
one for
booed.
Alex Hayden.
It's like they know you.
We have
Hey, there's
well,
the king.
it's been
There's
amazing.
The king,
You can
Richard
see
Petty watching. Richard Petty, the king.
the
is
king
watching
across
what's
the
going
street.
on
Good
over
to
here
see you in
today.
the 43. Well, it's been an amazing day, amazing weekend here in Miami for Alex Hayden, Dave Moody, Nikki Shields. I've been Scott Cole. And I'd like to thank our fine folks at NASCAR Heat 3 Xfinity. And we've had an incredible time. We'll see you guys in 2019. Once again, your winner. And here's the sights and sounds from the weekend here in Miami.
Oh.
Yeah, it's obviously a huge advantage when you're playing at home. Unless, of course, you don't have Xfinity. Right, Kevin?
Hey, man, I'm lagging. Are you streaming again?
You know I watch my shows on Thursdays.
Take your game to the next level with Xfinity X5.